Hi, I'm Kinsey from Oregon City Public Library, and today I'll be sharing the story of Rapunzel. This version of Rapunzel was written in 1857 by the brothers Grimm, as a child-friendly version of the story originally written by Friedrich Schulz in 1790. Once upon a time, there was a young man and woman who lived in a cottage with a window that overlooked a garden. The garden was full of fresh vegetables and herbs. But the garden was surrounded by a stone wall, and no one dared to go into the garden because it was owned by a powerful witch. One day, the woman was looking out at the garden and thinking about how much she would love to have some of the vegetables she saw. She told her husband about her wish, and because the husband loved her dearly, he waited until nightfall, and then he climbed over the stone wall and filled up a basket with fresh vegetables for his wife. The wife loved the vegetables, and she told her husband about how much she loved them. So the husband waited until nightfall again, and he climbed over the stone wall, but this time the witch was waiting for him. "You dared to steal my vegetables?" screamed the witch. The man pleaded with her and explained that he was just taking the vegetables because his wife loved them so much. The witch's anger calmed, and she told the man that he could keep the vegetables and his life on one condition: if, when his wife gives birth to a baby, they give the baby to her. Terrified, the man agreed to this. And one day, when his wife did give birth to a child, the witch appeared, and she took the baby from them. The baby was a girl, and she named her Rapunzel. The witch locked Rapunzel away in a tower that had no stairs and only one window. And every day, the witch would visit Rapunzel at her tower and call up, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel had long, beautiful golden hair, and she would place it out the window, and the witch would climb up it. Rapunzel had grown into a beautiful and kind young woman, but she was also lonely in her tower. Then, one day, the king's son rode past Rapunzel's tower, and he heard the most beautiful singing voice. It was Rapunzel's. Rapunzel would spend her day sitting in the window of her tower singing. The king's son decided that he would hide behind a tree to see if he could catch a glimpse of the woman who was singing. But instead, he saw the witch. He watched the witch walk up to Rapunzel's tower and call up, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And the prince saw Rapunzel's hair fall out of the tower and the witch climb up it. The prince waited until night when the witch had left, and he crept towards Rapunzel's tower, and he called up, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel's hair fell in front of him, and he climbed up it. Rapunzel was terrified when the prince appeared before her, but the prince spoke kindly to her and explained that he just wanted to be her friend. Rapunzel was delighted to have a friend. Soon after meeting her, the prince proposed to Rapunzel. Rapunzel said that she would marry him, but the prince needed to bring her silk that she can sew into a ladder to get out of her tower. And she also told the prince that he can only visit her at night because the witch is there during the day. The prince agreed to do both of these things. The witch did not know about Rapunzel and the prince's relationship until one day Rapunzel said, "You're much heavier to pull up than the prince is." "Prince?" screamed the witch. "I thought I had locked you away from the rest of the world." And then the witch grabbed Rapunzel, cut off her hair, and sent Rapunzel to live by herself in the desert. That evening, the prince appeared at Rapunzel's tower, and he called up, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And the witch placed Rapunzel's hair out the window, and the prince climbed up it. But instead of coming face to face with Rapunzel, he met the witch. "You will never see Rapunzel again," screamed the witch. Heartbroken, the prince leapt out of the tower. He escaped with his life, but the thorn bushes below the tower scratched his eyes. Weeping, the prince ran into the forest. The prince spent months stumbling around the forest until eventually he walked into the desert where Rapunzel was. The prince heard Rapunzel singing and he ran towards her. Rapunzel immediately recognized the prince and she wept with joy. Her tears fell into the prince's eyes and healed his vision. The prince took Rapunzel back to his kingdom and the two were married. Rapunzel and the prince lived happily ever after, away from the witch and her empty tower. The end. We will see you here next week with another story.